Hi guys, welcome to this lecture. This is a previous file. In that file we have get the different part of the date and time, but now in this lecture we are going to set the day, date, these things. And here is first of all, here here is here, and these are the setter functions, we can call it. First of all, here I'm going to set the full year. Here you can see that full year, and here you can pass the year without double or single quotes. Here I'm gonna write 2020. So now the date now we are using this var x is equal to new date. It has the today date, so today is 2016. Now it is set to the 2020. And now here this statement is not going to return the full year or anything, so we need to alert out the date, then you can understand it. Here is I'm going to alert out the date. Here is x, and now here you can see that it has 7th May 2020, and the time and all the things are same. You can set this full year, and now I'm going to tell you about the next function, that is the month. You can also set the month. Here is the month. Now the month is 4th, its index is 4th or 5th, but I'm going to give it 8. So 8 is the index of the September, and here we have given it at wrong place. Here is x, we have to print x, and here is 8. Here is 8, and now let's reload it. So here you can see that now it will become September because we have give the index of the September. So in this way these things will work. And now the next function that I'm going to discuss is the set date, that will set the date of the month. Today is 7th May, so we can give it any 20 or any if we give the 11, so there is 11th May. Here you can see that this is 11th May, but if we give it the 30 or 35, because 35 is not exist in the calendar, this month is only 31, and so how it will handle the extra days are added into the next month like this. Here you can see that now it will become 4th June. The extra days are count in the next month, so it have adjusted, it have update the month, and it have count the days of the next month. The date is move. And now here I'm going to discuss the next thing is you can also set the hours. Now I'm going to set the hours. Here is hours, and first thing is now there is 236, but I'm going to give 4. Here is 04, and now here you see that this is 237 at this time, but when we load it, so here is 437 because I have give the 4th hour. I have give the 4th hour. And now I'm gonna set the minutes. Here is minutes, and here is the minutes I'm going to give. You can give any value. I'm going to give 24 minutes. And now let's see, here is the minutes is 40, and now let's see, minutes are set to the 24. Here you see that you can also set the seconds. Here is seconds, and here is milliseconds. You can also set the milliseconds. Here is I'm gonna set both things. Here is the milliseconds, milliseconds, milliseconds. And milliseconds, you can give it the value from 1 to 1000, because in 1 second there are 1000 milliseconds. I'm going to give it 200. Now both things are going to set, and here is, you can see that here is the 24 seconds, and milliseconds is not printed on the screen. And now you can also set the date into the milliseconds. Like here you can see that when we use this function, so it gives us the milliseconds. When we use this function get time, so it also gives us the same milliseconds. But how to change these milliseconds? You can use this function. It will change the milliseconds from the since 1970 to the 7th May. Here is, you can give any value of the milliseconds, but you and me can't understand the how many milliseconds we want to give it. So this is just for our knowledge. I'm gonna give it a long this value, long value. So now let's see what date is changed. Now the date is completely changed. Here you can see that 3rd January 1970, and these are the milliseconds. If we break these milliseconds, so this date will be extracted. So in this way you can give the milliseconds. So now I'm going to tell you about some other functions that are used to convert the date into the milliseconds to parse the date. That is the important thing. We will use those functions. So here is, I'm going to move it here. Now let's start. First of all, here is the X is the object that have the today date, but here I'm gonna create a separate object. Here is like this. Here is Y, and in this Y we will save our milliseconds. So now by using this method you can convert any date into the milliseconds. Here you can see that this is the date of the today, then you have to give any date in between these parentheses, then you can convert. But here is the function in which you just need to put the date, and that date will be converted into the milliseconds like this. Here is March and 21 comma, and here is 2012. So now this date will be converted into the milliseconds and stored in Y, and then we can print this Y. Here I'm gonna create another and paste it here because it is for you, and here is Y. So now these milliseconds is going to print on the screen. Here these milliseconds are made from that date. So now what are these milliseconds? These milliseconds from since 1970, 1 January 1972, 21 March 2012. If we convert these milliseconds into the dates, so this date will become here. How to convert these milliseconds? Here is, you can just do this thing like here is another variable. Here is new date object. Here is this, and in between this pass milliseconds, and here is, then it will be converted into the date object. And here you see that 21 March 2012, time is not given. So in this way you can convert the most different dates by using this function into the milliseconds. So now I hope you enjoyed this lecture. If you have any problems, so kindly add the discussion. I'll help you as much as I can. Thank you for watching this video. I'll see you in the next video.